Hi everybody, I'm Robin Summer. I'm a commercial photographer in Maryland. My company is Mid-Atlantic Photographic. Like you, I'm doing a lot of video conferencing these days, and I thought I would offer a few tips to help you refine your video conferencing look. So the basics of virtual meetings are that we all want to have a pleasing balance of light on our face. We want to be able to see our faces. We want to have a background that's not distracting, and we want to have a good camera angle so that is not distracting to the viewer as well. We're all at home, a lot of us, doing virtual meetings right now, and it's really great to see what people's offices look like, what their life is about a little bit. It makes them a little bit more real. However, we also have to think about some of the things that we're doing in our home offices during virtual meetings. And one of the things I've noticed a lot is the perspective of the camera when people are doing virtual meetings. I'm using a webcam, a Logitech webcam, and I have it mounted on the top of my computer monitor so that it is facing me directly, so that it is basically at eye level. This is a great little camera. I decided not to use the one on my computer monitor because it just didn't seem to be up to snuff. So this one, I just plugged it into the USB port, and it was very easy. It works perfectly. It has a lot of controls that allow me to control exposure, color balance, even things like the frame. If I wanted to exclude a little bit more of the frame and use a square frame rather than a landscape frame, it gives me options like that. One of the things that I think is important is to think about where your camera angle is. And a lot of people use laptops during virtual meetings and virtual conferencing, and that's great. Laptops are great. It's just that you have to think about where the camera is and where you're looking at when you're using a laptop. When I use a laptop for virtual meetings, I place it on a couple of books, or I use something like this to increase the height of the laptop so it is higher up. And the reason for that, this is what I use. A lot of people use Veridesks. Veridesks are great. They raise the level of your laptop up. This is a very inexpensive little thing called by Executive Office Solutions, just a little computer stand that raises the height of my laptop. And now the camera of the laptop is, you're looking at eye level rather than looking down, because if you're looking down into the camera, your viewers are looking up at you, and it's going to look like they're looking up your nose, and I don't think that's a look that you want. So think about where your perspective is on your camera. The most important thing about video conferencing is your light source. You need to have a pleasing light on your face so that your viewers can actually see you very well. The best kind of light source is a very broad, even light source. And the easiest way to do that is to face a window or something like a sliding glass door. At any rate, you need to be facing a large, broad light source like a window. Sometimes I see during video meetings or virtual meetings, someone's face is very, very dark, or they're practically a silhouette, and that usually means that they have placed themselves with the window at their back rather than the window facing their face. In that way, they've basically put themselves in shadow rather than turning toward the light and having the broad light source fall on their face. Something else you may notice when you're video conferencing or in virtual meetings is that some people are very orange and yellow, and some people are almost blue and green. Household lighting or desk lamps are tungsten typically, and they create an orange-yellow light. If you're facing a window, or if you're in an office area that has fluorescent lighting coming from above, that's generally a blue or a blue-green look. On your webcam, in your software for your webcam, you should have turned on the automatic white balance function. The automatic white balance will judge the color tone of the light striking your face and will compensate for either too much blue or too much yellow or tungsten. I'm going to turn my auto white balance off right now, and I'll show you what those look like. This will be a cooler tone, a blue-green tone, generally that you see with fluorescent lighting, sometimes with outdoor lighting. And this is more of a tungsten look. That's generally what you would see with household lighting. So make sure you have your automatic white balance function set for on. If you're still having trouble with the quality of light or the color of the light striking your face, try to move around a little bit. If you're having a very cool look on your face, you're in your office, try turning on a desk lamp and getting a little bit of a mix of tungsten light and fluorescent light, and you might see a little bit more pleasing skin tone. Here are a few more ideas about creating broad light sources. Something that often happens when you have overhead lighting, say you're in your office, for instance, is that you get shadows under your eyes, and it can give you a very kind of tired look, and you might not want that. One thing that you might do, and that photographers do, is use reflectors. Photographers purchase regularly made reflectors, but you can make a homemade version of a reflector that works very well. I have a piece of tinfoil here, and you can see by moving around the tinfoil what it does. It reflects lights, it pushes light back into my face and basically fills in some of those lines that you might get from overhead lights. So what you can do is use a piece of tinfoil and place it between you and your monitor and reflect a little bit of overhead light or even a little bit of a desk lamp onto the tinfoil, and it will reflect back into your face. If you do a lot of video conferencing, you might also consider buying external light sources. And there are some very inexpensive ones that work very well. I'm using one right now. It is placed a little bit off to the side of my computer monitor, almost at eye level. And when you go on to, when you look for one of these, you're going to be looking for LED video light panels or LED video lights, such as this one. This one was about $40. There are ones that are even less expensive than that. They run on rechargeable batteries, and they have variable light sources, so you can go from very bright to very dim. And a lot of them even have a way of making the light warmer or cooler. In this way, you would be able to have a broad light source anywhere you go. When you're looking for or purchasing an LED video light panel, you might also consider a very small light stand or a little tripod that you can put your video light on, and in that way you would be able to position it in front of you very easily. If you've decided to refine your video conferencing look, here are a few things to remember. Think about the perspective from your web camera. Try to keep it at eye level as much as possible. If you're using a laptop for video conferencing, raise the level of your laptop up so that you're not looking down at your viewer and they're not looking up at you. Think about finding a broad, even light source like an open window. Remember to face the window. Don't put the window at your back or you will be backlit. If you are working in an office and have only overhead lighting, which can tend to create dark shadows under your eyes, think about a homemade solution like a piece of tinfoil and use it as a reflector to push light back up into your face. Think about what is behind you and clean up any distractions in the background. And think about the color of the light that's facing you. If it's too orange-yellow, try moving to a broader, more even light source like an open window, which will have a cooler tone. Make sure the auto white balance function is set to on your web camera. If you do a lot of video conferencing, think about external light sources like LED video light panels And don't forget to buy something for them to sit on, like a tripod. If you're doing video conferencing from your cell phone, remember to clean the camera off. I hope all of these things have been very helpful. Thanks for listening.